Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 6th of March 2019, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then guys, let's jump into the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on here is the WTI Oil. Now looking at this picture here, you can see that the commodity kind of is trading above this, well, should I say even, it's very tight right now. It's trading near this upside support line. Depends of course how you draw this, but for now you can see that this is what's happening here. It's trading near this upside support line that has been running here from the lows of the 24th of December. So for now we're going to remain very cautious here on this one, because at the same time it seems that it's failing to make some higher highs. You can see that we do have this little downside resistance line, this tentative downside resistance line here, drawn from the 1st of March. But for now, what we're going to do is, of course, we're going to keep a close eye on some of the key support and resistance levels. So basically, in terms of the downside, if this decides to travel further and breaks below the 55.70 zone, which marks here the low of the 3rd of March, this would also place the commodity below the 100 EMA here, shown on the 4-hour chart, and this way we could then target the area here, the low excuse me, the low of the 25th of February, which is around the 55 zone. So very good potential area of support. Also is not far from this 200 EMA. So for now guys, in a way you could do just continue observing this price action, but if this suddenly decides to drop below the 55.70, then yep, we could then target this little area of next potential support. So this is basically the game plan for the downside. In terms of the upside, if this decides to push back higher here and drives above the pivot, today's pivot, and then eventually breaks below, breaks above the 56.70 level, now this is where probably it could become a little bit more interesting for the bulls, because we could see this one traveling further up. We could see this commodity traveling further up here, potentially aiming for the 57.80s, 80-85 zone approximately there, which marks the highs of the 1st of March and is not far from the highs of the 22nd of February. So good potential area of resistance, but again, in order to kind of consider that area, we would like to see a nice good push above the 56.70 level first, and only then target slightly higher areas. For now, like I said, probably be very cautious with this one, be very careful. Some could say maybe it's even coiling up if it depends how you draw these lines. You could draw something like this here. You could in a way see this nice triangle formation, but again, this is a bit of a tentative one as well. So that's why guys, for now of course you can keep this in mind, but probably it's better to keep a close eye on some of the key support and resistance levels. So yep, the ones that I've just mentioned to you. Jumping into euro dollar, now this one finally got below the 113 level. So yesterday I was talking about this pair and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this 113.25 zone. So initially in the morning we were trading already not far from this 113.25, and you can see that how well this level acted as a good area of support. But there was a point, yep, we saw this getting broken, and the pair traveled further down. Now I was talking about the next potential area of support here near the 112.90, just 10 pips slightly below the 113 level, and you can see that this got tested perfectly. Certainly for now, we're gonna move down slowly here. If we see another drop here below the 112.90 level, then yep, again we will target slightly lower levels. Now you could in a way keep your eyes on this little potential temporary obstacle that could be in the way. This little low, the low of the 19th of February, and that's approximately around the 112.75 zone. So a drop below this, of course, could confirm a further decline, a forthcoming lower low. But before we start looking at the downside here, we would like to see initially a nice good drop below the 112.90 level. So as I said before, we're going to just go step by step and slowly on this one, because at some point we could see a reversal back to the upside. So that's why maybe even actually today, but then again, like I said, for now it's looking more bearish than bullish, and like I said, a break below the 112.90 level could first, of course, retest the 112.75 level, but slightly below that we do have a better area of potential support near the 1.1250. So you can see how well this played out as a nice area of support here back in the first half of February. In terms of the upside, well, I mean, if this gets back above the 113.25, certainly that could spark some hope among the bulls, and we could see this one traveling further up here towards the 113.50. But if that fails to withhold the bear pressure, or sorry, should I say the bull pressure, then yep, a break above the 113.50 could potentially lead towards the a retest of the 114 level and maybe above, and maybe this downside resistance line could get tested as well. But again, for now guys, in terms of the upside, that's what we're looking for, the 113.50. In terms of the downside, well, a break below the 112.90 again could open the path towards slightly lower levels. Jumping into EURJPY, now I was talking about this one yesterday in my traders tea time. Basically I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on the this 126.50 level. So you can see that how well it was broken here to the downside, and now it continues to travel lower. I was also mentioning this upside support line running from the lows of the 3rd of January. You can see that we're not far from it already, so in a way we could see further declines here to the downside. We could see a possible test of this upside support line, and if it fails to break, and if the pair fails to break below this upside support line, then or even let's say if it breaks, gives us a false breakout, but then actually reverses at the end of the day back above this upside support line, this could be a good sign for the bulls, and we could see them more of them joining in here and potentially driving this one higher. Now in a way what you could do here is in a way like playing a safe game here. You could in a way wait and see what's going to happen with this upside support line. If we do see a travel lower here, then we'll keep, of course, like I said before, keep a close eye on it, see what's going to happen with it. But then if we see a reversal back to the upside, don't rush into it yet. And for us, a nice good move back above the 126.50 level could be that gateway towards higher levels, and this is where we will aim for higher areas like the 127 zone and above. And also just kind of also if you like your trend lines, then in a way this could be like that good confirmation as well. This little small confirmation, basically it would break this little downside resistance line and then travel above the 126.50, and if he does that, then yep, this is where we will get more excited with higher levels again. But in terms of for now you can see that this is what's happening here. It's a bit of a tricky zone. Let's see what it wants to do with this, like I said, with this upside support line. If it decides to break it, well, for us, we would like to consider lower levels only if we see a drop below the 125.95 level, approximately there, and only then we'll target these lower areas, of course initially aiming for the 200 EMA, but if that doesn't hold, then yep, further declines are possible. But for now it seems to be somewhat more bearish than bullish, so basically we're going to be a little bit more cautiously bearish here. And but yep, of course, keep our eyes on the higher levels as well, just in case it has a sharp reversal back to the upside. Jumping into USDCHF now, also quick update on this one. I was talking about this one yesterday and also in my traders tea time. Basically, we were trading around here. I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this 1.0015 level. You can see that it managed to break it nicely to the upside, just pierced through this one, and almost reached this my target here at 1.0060. Just fell shy of around 5 pips, to be honest, of reaching that level, but that's okay. For now, we could see something like this maybe, because like I said, it is already trading above its pivot, so of course that is something that is looking quite positive on of course, at least the short-term outlook looks to be seems to be positive. So in a way, we could see maybe something like this happening, where the pair could retrace a little bit lower, maybe test the pivot and then rebound and push higher again. But in a way, for those who are more on the cautious side, you could in a way wait until this travels above the 1.0060 level first, and only then aim for higher levels like the 1.0088 or even the 1.01 level. So for now, these are the levels that we're going to be keeping a close eye on, those higher levels, of course. But before we can consider the upside, we would like to see a push above the 1.0060 level first. On the downside, if this suddenly drops back down below the 1.0015 level, now this is where it could become a little bit tricky for the bulls, because we could see this one, this pair sliding further down and of course hitting the 200 EMA first. But if this decides to go all the way and retest the 0.9980 level, a break below that could of course open the path towards further declines, and this could turn out to be very bearish. But for now, guys, of course, we're going to keep a close eye on this 1.0015 level on the downside, but on the upside is the 1.0060. And the last pair I want to quickly touch on as well, I was covering this one in one of my videos as well, and basically just before we kind of look into this, just wanted to show you the overall picture. So overall, we're still trading above this this medium-term upside support line taken from the lows of the or I should say the lowest point of October. It's trading from the lows of October here, running from the lows of October here, but you can see that we managed to break the this upside support line, and I was talking about this short-term upside support line here, and so that you would watch it carefully, because of course now this is looking, to be honest, more bearish than bullish. And yesterday we had that break here lower, and not only that, I was also mentioning this level right here around 0.6775 level, so which marks the lows, or should I say the inside swing low here of the 22nd of February. So you can see how well it got below it. Now it's reversing. It's trying to, or should I say, it's already testing this level here, the 0.6775. Let's see if it manages to drive above it. But to be honest, this is looking quite weak, and we could see maybe this one a little bit, let's say, even trying to push higher. And if it does push higher, but if it fails to drive back above this upside support line, the short-term upside support line that has been running here from the lows of the 3rd of January, then we could see something like this happening, where it could curve up here, fail to drive above it, and then we could see more bears jumping in and potentially driving this one further down, maybe even actually driving all the way towards this medium-term upside support line. But for now, this is just an idea. Certainly the main thing here is right now at this point in time to watch out for this 0.6775 level and see what it wants to do with it. If it fails to, if it struggles to get above it, then we could see this one reversing already straight away and moving lower. In a way, for those who are more on the cautious side, you could wait until this gets below these recent lows near the 0.6755. A break below that could lead towards further declines, and like I said, this is where we will initially target this area right here at around 0.6725, but just slightly below that we do have this medium-term upside support line. On the upside, well, again, we need to see this one traveling back above this short-term upside support line. and staying there and closing the daily candle here. But for better confirmation, for those who are more on the cautious side, this 0.6830 level, this is what we're going to be watching for. A nice good push above this could potentially lead towards further decline. So for now, just continue observing some of the key levels, and the first one to watch out for and see what the pair wants to do around this is the 0.6775 level. But overall, we're still somewhat more bearish than bullish on this one. Okay guys, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and if you want to join me later on at my trader's tea time, and that's 14:15 GMT time, but for now I hope you have a wonderful trading day, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.